Hi, welcome back to Cooking with Mrs. Thompson. I'm Karen Thompson, a former hospital food service director dietitian. I'm a retired family and consumer science teacher and cook. Join me as we travel the globe tasting the world's cuisine. Today we're going to Jinzhou, China to sample a dish that my girls and I used to eat, probably once a week in the 2 years that we were there. So this is my rendition of Dojiao Chao Rou, or green beans with minced pork. Now, this dish goes together super fast. It's very economical. It's very nutrient dense, and it's really good. It checks all the boxes. So let's get started. I have 4 cloves of garlic that I've already sliced. I'm going to chop them up pretty finely. I recommend that you do definitely chop it and not send it through a garlic press, and don't grate it. We don't want it that fine. I've got half an onion that I'm going to finely chop as well. Because I buy big onions, I'm only going to use half. And the other thing that I'm going to pre-prep, about a pound of green beans, which would be half of this bag. So let's get started. So like I said, I've already, sliced my garlic. I'm just going to chop it pretty finely. My garlic is all chopped. I'm going to scoop it and set it to the side. Like I said, this was about 4 cloves. Probably 2 tablespoons if you like to use garlic. I'm going to finely chop my onion. My onion is nice and finely chopped, and woo, this was a little bit strong. I have a little sinus clearing tear action going, but I'm just going to gather this up and set it to the side as well. Time to prepare the green beans. I'm just going to take the ends off. For the most visually appealing, I would leave them long like this, but I'm going to cut them in half and set them to the side. We get the rest of these and we will be through with all the chopping. One other thing to pre-prep before we get started, and that's the sauce. So to make the sauce, I'm going to take a teaspoon of Shaoxing cooking wine. I've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, regular, a teaspoon of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce. This is not going to be a super saucy dish. We want it just ever so slightly dry. I'm also going to put around a tablespoon of gochujang. I got this actually at my regular supermarket. And a tablespoon or so of chili crisp. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of that in there as well. Give it a little stir. The chili tends to settle a little bit. So roughly a tablespoon. It's not super hot. It's really good. So give it a stir. We're set. Before we start, I want to talk about a couple of things. I am using a large cast iron skillet rather than a wok. This is going to give me a lot more surface area because I want to cook these green beans at a super high temperature and literally blister them, because that's what gives them that authentic Chinese takeout flavor and the flavor that we had in China. Now, if you have ever watched them cook in a Chinese restaurant or in China, they're using gas and they had a lot of BTUs going. So this, for, those of us with electric skillets, is about the next best thing. A wok that fits on an electric, it just doesn't have enough surface area. This is going to give me a lot of surface area. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the oil. I'm going to use avocado oil. This this pan is screaming hot. I've had it over medium high temperature for about 15 minutes, heating up. I want that whole pan. Cast iron is great at conducting heat. I want the whole thing really, really hot. It is screaming hot. Avocado oil is a high temperature oil. Of any of the oils that I checked, it is the absolute highest. And its smoke point is roughly 450 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want to use something, especially like sesame oil, which has toasted sesame oil has an incredibly low flash point or smoke point. when the oil starts smoking, it's breaking down, and we don't want it to break down. That releases free radicals, which are not good for you, and a host of other things when we, literally burn the oil. So let's get rocking. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in this pan and immediately get my green beans in there. So the oil is probably going to smoke when I put it in there, but I'm going to, like I said, quickly get those green beans in. Actually, it's not smoking. I've used peanut oil before and it it starts smoking immediately. This is great. There, can you see it smoke a little bit? Don't. I want to get these in, then that's going to cool everything down quickly. Can you hear it? I'm just going to let these blister. A little charring is a good thing. The green beans have cooled the pan down considerably, so I did go ahead and turn up the heat a little bit. I want them to really cook fast. I'm going to turn the heat down, and I'm going to actually take the whole pan off heat, let it cool down just a minute, and take the green beans out. Going back on heat, and now I'm going to add about a pound of ground pork. This is my pork loin that I get when it's on sale for $1.67 a pound. Have the butcher grind it super lean as opposed to regular ground pork, which is 80% fat. This is much, much leaner and much cheaper. So I'm going to bust this up and brown it. I've got a little bit of browning going. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion and the garlic. Can you see how nothing is sticking to my cast iron skillet? It's been well seasoned. Look at that. You can hear all the moisture has cooked out of the onion. The beef is done. I'm going to add the sauce. Give it another stir first. Like I said, this is not a super saucy dish. And I'm going to add the green beans back. One minute to heat everything up. And you have dinner. So let's give it a try. I like to serve mine over rice, Three Ladies brand jasmine rice. In less time than it would take for me to get in the car, go to town, buy fast food, I have a fast, nutritious, economical dish. So let's give it a taste. It's a winner. You guys need to try. Please, please, please like, share, follow. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the dish. Let me know what country you'd like to travel to. Anything in particular you want to try. Please leave a comment. You guys have a great evening. Thank you.